Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again, looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So, just watched a couple of short videos by Tucker Carlson, who's in Moscow. He does this dare to compare, right? Looking at the Moscow subway system and a grocery store in Moscow. The contrast couldn't be starker, right? In city after city in the United States, shops are being looted like, a locust field being destroyed. And the subway systems, right? Numerous instances in New York City, right? Daniel Penny has to, wrestle some dangerous lunatic to the ground and accidentally kills him. He's being charged with manslaughter. Some black guy, previous to that, throws off smoke grenades and starts shooting in the subway. People are getting pushed onto the subway tracks and violently assaulted, dangerous, dirty, and unsafe. And I mentioned this, in democratic city after city, stores are shutting their doors, right? Because their products are being just stripped bare. And in Moscow, orderly and safe and well managed. And this is no praise for, authoritarian dictatorships, because make no mistake about it, Vladimir Putin, he is a very dangerous authoritarian. You are an enemy of his and he will kill you. Jail you if he's nice, kill you if he's not nice. And very often he's not nice. But this is the point I'm getting at. Why you get support for authoritarian dictators? Because they see this, this discord and the insanity of, democratic countries, the United States, just drowning in debt. Millions of illegal immigrants have flooded across the borders into American cities, overwhelming social welfare systems and networks. People are complaining, they're tripping over, in San Francisco, human feces on the sidewalk, used needles on the streets, city after city, New York City, violent criminal thugs. Recently, 2 New York policemen were violently attacked on the streets and the perpetrators turned loose, right? After, of course, giving newspaper reporters the bird. Right? Because you owe them, because they're an oppressed minority, the victims of neo-colonialism. I've done videos on this previously. No, the discord and poverty in the third world, kleptocracy, authoritarian governments, socialist experiments. And so you can see very easily, unless, the citizens of democratic countries start screwing their head on straight, you could easily see the pendulum swing to authoritarian dictatorships. Because you don't get this woke ideology in China, you don't get it in Ukraine. And I'm not asking for some authoritarian dictatorships. I'm talking about people getting their heads out of their rectal cavity. And, no, women should not be competing against men in women's sports. And millions of illegal immigrants should not be flooding into the United States. This is a social and it's an economic catastrophe. These people lack the skills to meaningfully contribute to American economic prosperity, and they are impoverishing the United States. This is absolutely unsustainable. This leftist ideology is toxic, absolutely toxic. And the recipe for some authoritarian dictatorship is not addressing these issues. And no, Donald Trump is not some, orange Hitler. That is absolutely nonsense. The United States has robust checks and balances. I've done videos on this. I'm not going to go into it again. Biden's the authoritarian, right? Targeting, parents at teacher, school board committees. Yes, he did that. He had federal agents suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story and suppressing, anything that spoke out against their COVID nonsense. Biden's the authoritarian here. Oh, and he was going to forgive student loans debt, right? He can't do that. It's unconstitutional. And he's disregarding the Supreme Court and doing it anyways. But it's nice authoritarianism. It's not nice authoritarianism. He's not forgiving student debt. He's passing that debt on to the American public. It is unfair. Anyways, so yes, Russia, you can visit Moscow. You're safe on the subway. You can go to the grocery store where there aren't grossly inflated prices. The United States, grossly inflated your fuel prices and energy costs. Same up here in Canada. And you see, American flag, greatest country that has ever graced God's green earth is the United States of America. Why? Because its founding ideals are, an inspiration to the rest of the world. There's leftist ideology, there's poisonous woke movement. It is cancerous. You want to see some authoritarian dictatorship in the United States and Canada? Keep playing this leftist woke game. People have enough. They know the media is lying to them, and they know that, the Liberal Party in Canada and the Democratic Party in the United States has sold out to this radical leftist ideology and crying about Islamophobia. Well, hundreds and sometimes thousands of people chanting into the streets, death to Israel and from the river to the sea, which is chanting for genocide. Awful. And yes, the pendulum shall swing. The pendulums shall swing. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and attention. Do check out my book, please. Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. I promise you, it's important because this ideology, it's coming for you. It probably already has, and it certainly has your kids, has them every day in school, teaching them this poisonous ideology. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.